Here's a man who does not need any introduction whatsoever, but I'm gonna give him one. Skywalker Steele. What's going on, brother?
What's good, bro?
Sky, it's so crazy because I've always told you this. You are the best quarterback in the game. Period. Point blank, period. And when I say quarterback, you moderate, you have your daily show, which I'm if I can't catch it in the morning, I make sure that I either catch snippets or we'll talk on Twitter or text. But me and Sky actually have developed a great relationship just talking ball, whether
Off
it's going back
off air. Yeah.
off, bro. It's our phone conversations, our text threads could be a show. Maybe one day these folks that put that bag behind us. It's coming. Don't worry about it. They can't deny it, bro. But Skywalker still also, and I've said this a bunch of times, guys, he is an amazing football mind. So it's just more, it's not just like he just throws an alley oop to me, Vach, and the guys on the round table, Koye Law, but he actually is like a real football mind. So along with him and Zach, you guys are going to be seeing Sky on my channel a lot more throughout the season, prayerfully. And you guys are going to be seeing Zach and Vach as well. I want to do more collabs, and then I'll be doing film. And so we're kicking it off week one. So that was the housekeeping, and we're kicking it off week one.
I don't just do housekeeping. I'm humble. You can't just say all these nice things about me, Foots, man. You're the pioneer of this thing, big dog. I'm just trying to make sure I live up to the standards. That's all. But go ahead.
Well, so here's the deal. Week one, Sky, I wanted to hit it off with a bang, but with this situation, I want to segue. Well, take a trip back to a video that we did. And I'm going to put this link in the description. I already did this once, I believe, but I want to do it again. Maybe I'll talk about it on Twitter, but I want to do it again. Sky, you did a great talk. You did a great TED talk on Zimmer's defense. The crazy thing about it, bro, is we saw all of this stuff unfold in real time. So, like, that's, again, more flowers to you while you can smell them. Now it's week one. And before I do a overall overarching look at the Browns offense, how are you just feeling about this game, week one, the defense, before we get into the nuts and bolts?
I like this matchup for the Cowboys defense. I think they have the advantage. I actually think it's flipped, but I feel like the Cowboys offense is better than the Browns offense. So that matchup is going to be more of a heavyweight fight. Don't be shocked if the Cowboys defense borderline can dominate in this game. And we'll obviously get to some of the specifics. And that is no knock to the players and coaching over there, because I'm a Kevin Stefanski fan. Yes. You know, I like his scheme. A two-time coach of the year. I think he's done good things over there in Cleveland, but things are different for them. And things are different for the Cowboys defense with Mike Zimmer here, adding the guys they added on the interior, the scheme that we talked about, last time I was here. I like this matchup a lot. I think the Cowboys should be favored on that side of the ball. They have the advantage, in my opinion.
Wow. And with that, that's why I brought Sky on, because I think that people are going to be extremely, surprised by just how the Cowboys play, based on kind of like what we were seeing at camp. It was some good, people got to understand, some of the camp battles that we did see, Sky, man, it was some good back and forth, but we got to remember, this was the number one offense last year. And like, to see this defense getting the best of the number one offense and a quarterback the caliber of Dak Prescott, to me, that's you. I don't think you could be, we'll get into some of it. I don't think that you could be disappointed with that at all. Okay, so before we go any further, this video is brought to you guys by BetUS. I'm showing us the site on the stream. Guys, all your betting needs. I mean, just look at this. Look at how beautiful this website is, Sky. All your betting needs, futures. The season starts tomorrow, Sky. Like, we really made it. If you want to use that 125% bonus, you can tomorrow. So make sure you guys log in. Make sure you guys create an account. BetUS. Listen, the futures and the plays for the Cowboys game, I like some of the unders. I like some of the plays. I would take the under in this game. Me personally, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think the Cowboys do pull it off. So, like, some of those things in the plays that BetUS does have, I don't think that you could beat it, guys. BetUS, all your betting needs. Make sure that you guys are betting responsibly. All right.
Shout out to BetUS.
Shout out to BetUS, Brody. So here we go. So as we talk about the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, we have to really pull back just who they are, and then we'll kind of get into Mike Zimmer defending these guys. So here goes my long-winded soliloquy. Deshaun Watson is a pumpkin, but the Browns were able to win games literally in spite of. And here I got a few numbers for you. While he was playing 41.1, 41.9 QBR, just awful. But the Browns were 8-4 in the game. They've been 8-4 in the games that he's played. There's a guy who got 5 years, 230 million guaranteed money. 230. So that's Mahomes' money, and he's been nowhere near Mahomes. He's been flat out bad. And then you talk about the offense and the offensive line and some of the injuries that they have. And then you talk about Kevin Stefanski, who is, I like his run game, Sky, way more than I like his passing game. I think that his passing game, and I don't know if you saw that on film, but we'll talk about it.
Built off the run game.
His passing game is built off the run game. I think that he does have guys, and they obviously did pay Jerry Jeudy. But I think that the issue that I've seen with Stefanski's offenses are the passing game does struggle. Let's talk about the out is Alex Van Pelt, in is Ken Dorsey. That's interesting to me because that's kind of like a wash. Ken Dorsey just got fired from the Bills. Has he had to turn back in? Sky had time to get better. I don't know, but Kevin Stefanski brought him to the OC, and Kevin Stefanski is going to still call plays, but Ken Dorsey is the OC. So is that a let's settle Deshaun Watson down with a players coach like Ken Dorsey, who was with Cam, who was with Josh Allen? I don't know. And then my last thing that I talked to you about pre-show, and I'll let you go, Sky. They lose Bill Callahan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's been talked about enough. You talked about it on your show. It's crazy because I didn't even watch the show today, but it's like me and Sky were talking pre. I'm like, Sky, do you know my trump card? He was like, bro, I already know. Run game Moses. I'm like, dog. So in a vacuum, they bring in Jameis Winston, and Joe Flacco was out. And another nugget that I really wanted to hit on was like, I don't know if it's Joe Flacco being just an old wily vet, but I say the offense looked better when he was in there.
Because it's YOLO Flacco. Flacco, he had no pressure. Flacco came in there, he started pushing the ball downfield. He didn't care if he threw a pick, and their explosive play rate went through the roof. Because prior to Flacco, they didn't have any explosive plays. Because like you said, their scheme passing wise wasn't great. They lost Nick Chubb, so their run game it still worked to an extent. Jerome Ford, shouts out to him, he was fine, but it wasn't dominant like it was with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, that duo the previous years or what have you. But yeah, Flacco ain't care. Flacco was pushing that thing.
Yeah, and it was like, bro, like, I don't, here's my analysis of the film I watched. I watched 3 games on Watson. It looked like they were trying to be a college offense with no rhyme or reason. Like, Van Pelt was running some stuff that just didn't make sense for what he wanted to do. I've always known Stefanski for a guy who was a back to the basket play action type of guy, but they're in gun because maybe that was some of the stuff that he did at Clemson and
Watson does. Yep.
Yeah, Watson. And so I don't know if maybe Van Pelt was trying to set some of that up. Honestly, Scott, I just think Watson sucks now, and the Browns they just are caught with their pants down, and they're trying to make this work. But like, I think he is who he's been recently. Like, dog, in no world can you play this bad anywhere else and get this amount of passes, or we'll try to fix this and this, that, and the third in any other facet of life. But, in the Browns world, because I guess they've been so bad at quarterback, they're trying to make this work. But I just came to the conclusion watching him, I don't think he's that good.
I don't think you're wrong. This isn't 2020. That was the last time, if I'm not mistaken, he was actually good. And I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, Watson he'll get it back. That was 4 years ago. He suffered multiple injuries. He suffered multiple issues off field. Different team, different. He's playing outdoors now, not indoors. This isn't the same Watson. I don't think he's not as accurate as he used to be. I don't think he's as confident as he used to be just on the field, right? Yeah. And dare I say, I don't think Kevin Stefanski's offense really meshed with Deshaun Watson. But here's the interesting part, Foots. They're bringing in Ken Dorsey, and Stefanski has given Dorsey and apparently their new offensive line coach and another guy from Philly a lot of headway to implement some of their offense. And Watson had a quote where he said, essentially, I'll paraphrase here, this is going to be more of a spread offense. This is going to be a run and gun offense with not much run. He talked about how he's excited to run around and make plays. So in my head, I'm thinking, isn't that the same exact thing that got you fired in Buffalo with a better quarterback? So you're gonna let Deshaun Watson run around and throw the ball all over the field? This version?
Yeah.
Week 1 against this defense? I don't think you should do that. Not this week. Maybe week 7 or 10, but not against this Cowboys defense, because Mike Zimmer is going to bait the hell out of Deshaun Watson with some of these disguises. And like I said, don't be shocked if Zim gets in the zone to the point where this could look like a dominant game, unless they find their footing on the ground, right? Yeah. Run game wise, because we don't know yet. I can tell you right now, I love the addition of Linval, love the addition of Jordan Phillips, Marshawn Nealon, Micah, Chauncey, D-Law. Like these guys, I feel good about them finding their way, obviously gelling together under Mike's system, but we just don't know run defense wise just yet. Yeah, we gotta see it. I don't have to see it pass defense wise, because the pass defense has been good. You know what I mean? They've been good in the system that compromised them a lot of the times. Now they got a system, I think, that will complement them. That's not from me, bro.
Yeah.
Jay Lou said it. Malik said it. They've all come out and said, oh man, this fits what I can do. So you want to drop back and throw the ball over the field, Foots, with Micah Parsons coming after you and Mike dialing
and
it
up.
And
a backup tackle or a non-healthy tackle.
Offensive line issues. I say, please.
Well, and I want give yourself flowers, Sky, because you called some of this stuff in deployment wise on the back end in the summer. The link will be in the description, so you guys can go watch that video of what to expect from Mike Zimmer, and it's all come to fruition and gelled quite nicely. If you looked at the preseason games, I know obviously you will insert our starters, but you didn't see blown assignments. You didn't see with our guys, our twos. You saw guys where they were supposed to be. You saw run fits. You saw guys fitting.
Passing guys through the zone. It was impressive, bro, to see 2s and 3s being as disciplined as they were in the system. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, before we get to these 3 burning questions, Sky, and just, man, I want to ask you this. Outside of Amari Cooper, like, I was a big Judy guy coming out. Obviously, he was drafted before CeeDee Lamb, and we saw how that turned out. Him, Ruggs. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's been clearly better. Outside of Amari Cooper and David Njoku, and Njoku had a nice season last year. He had a nice year.
Yeah.
Threats wise, how do you feel? I like their slot guy. How do you? I like Elijah Moore, but I also think that's a good matchup for Jordan Lewis to me. Yeah, I think that's because he's not overly fast and he's not big, and like Jordan Lewis weirdly does great with route runners. Other than that, who scares you?
I think this is going to come down to Coop and Njoku, heavy involvement. Again, it's so weird because there's not a whole lot of games you got with Deshaun Watson, and he's the quarterback. He's the guy throwing the ball. So maybe it'll come down to Stefanski and Ken Dorsey, dialing up a good game plan to make it easy on Watson, right? But there isn't, like you said, Judy is the new guy here. We'll see. He's got talent. He's fast. He can be a route runner, inconsistent catching the rock. We'll see if he meshes with Oppo of Amari Cooper. But even then, I feel like Carson, as long as they're not running a whole lot of 9s with Judy, that could be an issue if they run a lot of deep routes on Kalen Carson. But I feel like he'll match that type of energy, all day with Judy, unless you're going to run a whole bunch of streaks all day, because that's something that I do feel like Carson has to show us, because in college it was about guys getting behind him if he wasn't getting a good jam, if he wasn't up against the line of scrimmage, if he was playing back and let them get into him. That's some of the things that I saw. But if he was playing physical when he was up in the line of scrimmage, he was sticky as hell. And You muted Foots.
I think it got. I think it got like Devontae Smith will probably give him issues, eat up cushion, but like just a route runner. I think he, like you said, if he when he's off, I actually did a video on this. When he's off and he can see it, he breaks on the ball well and he's
Yeah,
good.
right. Yeah, if when he's off and and he's playing a vision defense and the result of the play, the route, the target is in front of him, he can be trouble, right? But where I noticed is when they decide to do a deeper route and he's off, he tends to get got because of that aggression. So a guy stems and sticks his foot in the ground and runs a post corner, or a
Yeah,
guy sells an outside and he runs a deep post. That tends to get him. Or guys double move, right, because he's aggressive corner. But I think he'll learn that. That'll come with experience.
yeah,
But yeah, man, I don't think there's a whole lot of weapon. And Njoku is a weapon, no. Don't get
yes.
twisted. Like he's very good after the catch. Top 5 tight end. I think number 1 actually in yards after the catch. Red zone target. I think they have to feature Njoku and they have to feature Amari. Problem is, you better choose wisely. You don't attack. Look, I don't give a damn if Diggs is coming off of this injury. Eventually, he'll make Deshaun Watson play or pay.
I agree.
So you want to act like Diggs come off the ACL is a liability? Be my guest. Maybe he'll get a player or two off of him, but I think Diggs will bait the hell out of him, and he'll
He
get a
knows
pick.
Amari. He knows
He
Amari. He
knows
knows.
Amari. Yeah.
And Amari's on the back half of his career, still really good, but on the back half of his career. And this is a matchup that I like Diggs. Diggs is entering his prime. I like Diggs in this matchup.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first game back, but if it was one guy coming off, like I said this before, coming off of an ACL injury that I feel confident in, call it, cautious optimism, it's Diggs. I feel like he'll bounce back better than any of these dudes who tore their ACLs and came back their first year.
I couldn't agree more, Sky. All right, Scott, 3 burning questions with this defense versus this Browns offense. And not really burning questions, but just kind of, we haven't seen much film of anything that they're doing new. So we're kind of going into the season blind.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of over prepare for this stuff and then it just turns into a football game, man. It is what it is. So I want to focus on us and what we'll do. Sky, how do you see Micah's usage? This offseason, it was a lot of, Mike will play more than just in. They'll keep him on one side of they won't just keep him on one side of the football field. How do you see him being deployed? Do you see some AA stuff, or are you just kind of waiting and seeing on this?
Bro, that's the one question I feel like they're doing a hell of a job keeping close to the vest.
And
they're
that's
doing
okay.
a hell of a job. I can't even sit here and fake it to you, bro. Like, I have no clue for the first time, right? Like, in a long time, like over the last couple of years, all right, Micah's going to be lined up, right defenses in, left it. Now, there was times they had him over the center and they started doing things like that. But it sounds like Zim is literally going to have this dude everywhere, right? At depth from a linebacker position, at the line of scrimmage, which looks like from the linebacker position, standing up on the edge, hand in the dirt on the edge, dropping back. Zim is truly going to use this man like a true weapon X. It sounds like. But I'm just honestly popping some popcorn, sitting on the couch, and just waiting to see it unfold, man. Because I do feel like it could be a special year in usage rate for Micah Parsons, because Mike Zim knows I'm not going to put him in a compromising position. I'm not going to just have him lined up over the best tackle all game and just have him doing one thing. He's going to set him up. And then what that will do is set up other guys too. So I'm just sitting back and waiting. I don't have an answer for you, bro, but we're going to find out on Sunday.
We're going to find out. And then even like with the Cowboys in depth, we'll find out too. Cause it's like, okay.
That's another discussion. Yeah.
That's another discussion. It's like Nealon, D-Law, and who else? Chauncey? Who else?
Carl Lawson off the practice squad. But it already, and we might have talked about this during the draft season, but the Cowboys, even with Sam Williams, had questions at defensive end depth. Even when they drafted Marshawn Nealon, there was still questions like, hey, should we go get a veteran? Then Sam goes down, and it's like, boy, I hope this defensive end depth doesn't have to get tested. Yeah. Because you got Micah as the true juice guy, and after that, you really don't have that Dante Fowler, that Sam. Like, you had 3 juice guys last year. Fowler, Micah, Sam. And then you had guys who shown that they could be productive, in the scheme.
Endurance
and D-Law. You've got Micah, and you've got D-Law, who are
Yeah.
proven. And I love Nealon, but obviously he's a rookie. He has to go out there. That's it.
Yeah.
We went from, remember we had Randy Gregory as one of the guys, right? To D-Law Micah.
Yeah. No, Sky, you talking good. I mean, listen, dude, like, God forbid, I'm not even going to say it. And I'm knocking on this too. This is wood. I'm not even going to say it. So no, that's A. Listen, you better not clown around. That also maybe why I don't want Micah just rushing, getting beat up, rushing, getting beat up, rushing, getting beat up. Some of these things I want him getting free looks. Some of these things I want maybe guys taking up double teams. Maybe you do play Osa at a 4 technique every once in a while, just have him press a tackle. I don't know. You're gonna have to get creative, but it's gonna be interesting. Okay, you got anything else on that, Sky?
Are you about to spin this into the linebacker situation?
I am,
because I've been thinking about this.
Let's go right into it, Sky. Go right into it. By the
way, when I say Randy Gregory, I mean Randy Gregory was one of your depth guys. He wasn't, you know what I mean? Because I know people in the chat going to be like, Randy Gregory, he was one of your depth guys. You ain't got a Randy Gregory as a depth guy. Just want to clarify. Yeah. But I've been thinking about this. Do you think they're going to deploy Micah next to Kendricks more than we think?
I'll tell you what, and I'm glad that you said that. With it all depends on how good Marshawn Nealon is early. Because if Nealon shows that he can hold his water, I'm fine with having Micah. I love Maris. I'm all for my rookies. That's well and good, Sky. If Nealon or another end emerges can do anything, and you have Micah and Kendricks double A, sign me up. Because now you're getting a free run on a guard and a center. Right. Hey, Sky, sign me up. Like, because that's where I'm at. Like, if Nealon's giving you anything rush wise, now what you can't have is Nealon just getting washed up field and there's no recovery and like
no counters.
He's no counter and he's just running down people's faces, which he that's his game. But like, if he can give you some more, like really, what you need Nealon to have is a 5. If Nealon has a 5 sack year, we cooking with money. If Marshawn Nealon gets to 5 to 6 sacks, Sky, this defense is gonna be out of sight because you know what Micah's gonna get you. Micah from anywhere on a football field is a walking 11 to 12 sacks. He just won't be denied. But if Marshawn Nealon can create his own 6 to 5 sacks, and it's not all about sacks because he's going to be a TFL tackle guy anyway. But if he can get you that I think will be your answer, where it's like Zimmer feels comfortable with this guy doing his thing.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that I think this is going to happen or isn't or whatever. It's just I'm just thinking out loud of the deployment of Micah, right, and how that could affect the linebacker room if he's going to play at depth, right? Because a lot of people say, Micah Parsons was playing linebacker last year. Well, no, he was just lining up over a guard and center and rushing. That's not playing true linebacker. I think if he does, though, there is some advantages. We've seen it in camp and you've seen it in his rookie year. You want to run a screen, Micah's beating your guard, your center to the dude. You want to run a swing pass, you want to try to get outside, like Micah can beat you there and force a tackle behind the line of scrimmage or run stuff or whatever. So like those things matter just as much as getting a sack. Think about it. If they run a toss or a swing pass and Micah gets a 2-yard tackle for loss, the negative 2 yards, that's like a sack. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So I was just thinking about that out loud. And then as you were talking, I'm like, you know what? Go right back to why I never believed that would be the case. The depth that defense. When you pull Micah away from rushing the passer, your pass rush suffers greatly. I agree. Unless they're pulling him and then rushing him from that depth, that linebacker depth, it'll have to be situationally. So maybe a handful of times during the game, as opposed to a handful of times during the season, like it was with Quinn.
Yeah, and I also think that, I think that this team will have personnel to stop certain things on certain downs.
That's
right,
a good
Scott?
point too. Like he'll deploy true matchup person. Like, you want to come 13? All right, we got something for it.
that was a big thing that we talked about on that show. And
Yep.
that's what me and you have talked about. Like, bro, you're not gonna see Micah in a 4-man, even front versus a goal line set. Like, essentially, that's what the Bills were able to do all game. Like, just have big personnel out there. And what did Dallas have? Nothing.
Jordan Love went on his podcast and said, and Mike straight up asked him, and shouts out to Jordan Love for being honest, bro. Our game plan was attacking your safety you had at linebacker.
Yeah.
Our game plan was to eat up the fronts that you were showing and being so damn small, up front and in the middle of the defense. Excuse me, at linebacker, defense tackle, etc. Like, y'all made it easy for us.
Yeah, that we gotta understand, man. That Cowboys defense was rooted in speed. That's what Dan Quinn preached us. Speed.
Get the ball.
And that's
no matter
fine.
how, just get the ball.
And that's fine, right? The problem is there's a counter to that. And I think that we'll still see a fast defense. Like, you'll still see a fast flowing defense. Yeah, you'll see a fast flowing defense, but there's a certain way that you literally in real time have to play to run a certain way. You have to earn the right to pass rush. And we've heard all these guys say that. You literally have to earn the right to pass rush. Once we take care of the run, then we can go get the quarterback. Then we can run to the ball and do all that type of stuff. Dog, Overshown, Marist, Micah,
Kendricks,
who's
Demo. Oh,
Demo.
You said Overshown.
I said Overshown.
Clark.
Oh man, Clark.
Gotcha.
They can run. Like, these guys can run. That's what they did in college.
In the joint practice. I mean,
bro,
he looked like he turned the clock back a little bit.
He can run.
Yes, he can.
We gotta earn the right. So that's cool. And that basically kind of did hit our linebacker deployment. The one thing that I'll be interested to see, and it's kind of been floating around Twitter, and I kind of asked the question. And I want your thoughts on this, Sky, and then we'll get to our last question. Sky, are they easing DeMarvion Overshown in this game, you think, because of the hip? Because I saw Maris Luafau was one on the depth chart, and that shows how much they trust Luafau. But then I kind of like, damn, first you put the tweet out there, but it is what it is. I mean, is that just them easing him in because or do they really believe in Marist over DeMarvion?
So I love what Mike McCarthy had to say about this. He was like, look, man, we don't play just 11 players on offense and defense. He said we consider 14 as starters. Mm-hmm. So, and I'll be a bit of a hypocrite. I talked about the depth chart on my show because it was a topic to talk about, but I was feeling the same way with what Mike was saying. Like, look, I'm not about to overreact. All these guys are going to play. Like, there's going to be a rotation, or maybe a game where somebody plays more, maybe a series somebody plays more. But shouts out to the We Doing All Right podcast, Vosh Lombardi and Brian Broadus. Broadus said he talked to people down there, in the building, and Overshown has no holdbacks, no setbacks, no nothing. He's fine. He's injury free. He's healed. He's good to go. So I don't think, they're going to dial him back in any way. I think honestly think he should play a lot. Yeah. I would love to have him out there playing at least, 50 to 60% of these snaps next to Eric Kendricks, because once he understands what he's seeing out there and develops that part of his FBI football IQ, the Sky, like, there is no limit for this dude. Yeah. He has the 1-2. He has the ability. He has the demeanor. He has that kind of aura to kind of lead a defense. He has a potential to be a special linebacker for you. So I wouldn't handicap, him or myself as a team if he's able to go. But if he is hindered, which reports are he's not, then you let the young buck play a little bit. But I think he's fine. Foots. Okay. I think he'll play. I think Leofau will have some. I feel like they'll use Leofau moving forward. I feel like they're going to.
That's what we talked about during the draft.
Packages. Yeah, they'll probably do more of that.
That's where he needs right now.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart way to use Leofau. He's a very aggressive guy. Some of that can get you in trouble. I actually think that Overshown moves better moving backwards than Leofau, and is better in coverage. I said this, and he's an upgraded Jaron Kearse to me. Same type of athlete, a little bit bigger, and so that's what I would say about Overshown. All right, and we kind of touched on this one, Sky. This will be our last kind of hit, but I just want to go in a little bit more depth. What is a good game for Kalen Carson? because we know, and Zach made a great point. I was listening back to our show. Corner is tough, man. Like
Yeah.
corner is tough, bro. Me and you used to text about Jordan Lewis all the time. It's just tough, bro. Like it's not easy. And so, is it, man? He gave up 80 yards, but he didn't get beat. Is it, what? Just give me a good game. What are you expecting from Kalen? Even if you say, man, you know what, it might be rough. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I kind of talked about this on my show where I don't think we need to see Kalen Carson have some dominant games, shut down Amari or Jerry Judy, but a good game would be making a few plays. If it's an interception, great, but I don't need that.
Big
Is he a
tackle.
Yes, is he securing a tackle? Is it a pass breakup? Hey, is he for a big play? Could be 3rd and 8. They try to put a move on you, and he forces Deshaun Watson. These things you won't see till the film comes out. He forces Deshaun Watson off of the Amari Cooper read or off of the Jerry Judy read, and now they got to go to the opposite side against Diggs, and Diggs gets the pick, right?
Mhm.
But it happened because Carson made the right read or play or what have you. So it's really going to come down to just don't be the reason why they tee off. Like
Yeah.
if they have a big day offensively, don't let it be because we picked on the rookie. Because
Yeah.
I'm not one of them dudes who's about to sit here week 1. If he doesn't have the greatest of games, and I'm going to just throw him out off the cliff. Like we got to be patient with all these young bucks.
Him, Tyler, BB.
All of them. Yeah, all of them. And there's going to be moments in the game he might give up a play or something like that. But don't be the reason, hey, game's tied, they cooked you for the game winning. Don't be the reason why Sean Watson had 342 and 180 of it was on you and get just don't do that. And I think he'll have plays and moments in this game where he'll take that film, go back, sit with Al Harris, sit with Diggs, and be like, man, I can build off that.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'll shorten it all. Put out some tape that you can build off of.
Yeah.
And that's a good game.
I'll say this, man. The thing that I like about Carson is he has
bro.
Yeah, man.
That's what I love about him.
Dog, and it's the same thing with Diggs. Like I'll never forget. I say this story all the time. I watched Diggs get toe up versus Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin may not have a catch versus Diggs since they played.
I don't think he does, bro.
Bro, like they just got that in that corner. You gotta have that. Like, and I'll say this. This might be more telling of what the front office and what Will and those and the player personnel think of Carson. They haven't brought in like nobody to even threaten him. Like it's you, dog. We're good. We're rolling.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
You know what I mean, Sky? Like it's you. Like and we trust you in that way. But I just think that shows up all over Carson's film. Like Carson he plays that way. It's all over his film.
It's like the opposite of I said this before too. Anthony Brown. When Anthony Brown gets beat, he seems to never have that ability to just forget and bounce back. It's kind of he's always the sulking. You can see it in him. Man, and teams got him, and they're just constantly challenging him. And there's times where it doesn't always work out that way, but you felt it and you see it in AB. Where with Carson, and like you said, I've seen him get beat. Notre Dame, Florida State. I've seen it, but guess what? He has that innate ability to, all right, forget about it and come back with the same energy, the same confidence, and I'm going to make a play. And in both of those games, and I'm bringing up those games specifically because Coleman got him, right? In Florida State, but he got Coleman. And in the Notre Dame game, I can't remember the guy's name. He gets beat deep, but he was making tackles at the line of scrimmage. So
and the run game, that Notre Dame game, he was all over the run fit. It was crazy.
Like a linebacker.
And you know what? That's also the type of stuff that this fan base, that'll win you. Like, that'll win guys over. I don't care what nobody says. Like, I mean, that'll win the fans over. Like, hey, we got BB just made a tackle on the goal line. Like, so I just think that, like, that's kind of where I'm at. And, like, listen, he's a sub 4.5 guy, 4.5, 4.6 guy. Like, and that's where,
the long speed could get him if a player, like you said, eats up some cushion on him, and now we're, the saying, if we're even, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
If they can get even with him and you got some legitimate, speed, I'm interested to see how he handles that.
Yeah. No, and I'll be honest with you. I'm actually it's between him and Guyton. I mean, but Guyton, for the obvious. I mean, dude, you're literally going against the best. Myles Garrett is like when I went back and watched their game versus San Francisco. I can honestly say, and we're just talking our defense for a second. But bro, I can honestly say Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the NFL.
A monster, bro.
It's not even. I'm not gonna say it's not close because Micah's close and Watt are close. But
I
Myles, when you watch it, when you can sit back, no emotion involved, Myles is different, bro.
He's the most complete defensive end probably for the last like 5 years or what have you. Like he's so complete. Where Micah can challenge that is that he is different. He's unique. He can do things that Myles and those boys can't do. But that all depends on how you use him. Where with Myles, it don't freaking matter.
You leave him on the side,
just keep him
run, pass rush.
Keep him as a defensive end and just let him do his thing. He is, man. I advise you, Cowboys Nation, don't be like Foots and watch film. Don't do it because then you're gonna get nervous.
Bro. And I'm gonna tell you this:
leave Myles film alone, bro.
Bro, watching him versus Trent. Good God, like Trent was hanging on for his life. He was tossing Trent in the run game. So I mean, just be prepared for a whiff by Guyton. Now they're gonna do everything, and San Fran did a great job of, hey, you getting the shoulder here, dog. We get into that hip. We doing a couple things to nudge you. Don't worry about it. But at the end of the day,
we taking your legs away. Yeah. You're getting all that. You're getting the action, boss.
And I'm gonna tell you what you just said. The uniqueness. That's the difference. When you keep a guy on one side, Dak, as smart as he is, he's doing what? He's setting those protections. Okay, guys, here, BB, we're setting it to him. Hey, Terrence, you got to be a guy. BB, we're setting it to this guy. You guys know the protection is going to 95. Cool. With that, with Micah, you can't do that because he can rush from anywhere. He can play backer. He can go to both sides in the drop of a dime. So that's the cool thing about it. But yeah, Mike, I say all to say, dog, Mike, Myles Garrett is, he's a good player, bro.
First ballot.
So anyway, man, I just want to say, Scott, thank you so much for jumping on, man. Talking, really just talking ball. Me, you talk life all the time, but
yeah, but I enjoy talk. I tell this to I advise you. There's a handful of people, Koye, I tell this him too, that we just talk ball. Like I hit you up, we talk ball, whether it's on air, off air. It is one of my favorite things to do with again a handful of people, and you're definitely one of them, bro. Like people don't. We was talking about coaching. People don't. I mean, they might know you coach, bro.
Yeah.
But you can see it and feel it in how you break down the film and what you're talking about. And I just think that's so dope to me because you can tell, man, like that coaching acumen that you have. You use it in your study and whatnot, and then you're teaching us. Yeah. And I say us because I'm a part of that too. I'm learning every damn day. So that's dope. Keep doing that, man. And I said this behind the scenes, and I'll say it here on air. What you're doing with the youth, I don't even have the words, man. What you're doing with the youth is seriously, man. That is huge. That's a huge deal, bro. You probably, one of your boys is in the league, so
man. Yeah. I mean, and the crazy thing is, bro, I still enjoy just doing this, bro. Like, and I think it's because too, Sky, like you have a following. It's almost like, bro, our fans and our following, they're like our family. So we push each other. That's why I said I had it. I didn't just want to this year. I said, you know what? I don't just want to just roll out Foots' breakdowns. Nah, if I can get Sky for 30 minutes, I want y'all to hear what we're thinking, our back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want you to hear Voch. I want you to hear some of the other people in the community. So, man, I say this all the time, Sky, best quarterback to do it, but I'm telling you, just as good as a film and a color guy as well. So thank you so much, Sky. I feel actually more prepared talking to you for this game. And that's all we're trying to do, guys. We're not guaranteeing a win because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a tough game. So just be ready. Like this in the Giants, y'all.
Yeah, man. Like if you come into my channel for me to make these crazy, bold statements and things like that. Listen, man, all I'm doing is studying the opponent, studying our team, and then telling you what I see, how I feel, and using that information based off of it. I'm never going to be I told you so guy, although Foots is the man. I'm never going.
I'm a told you so guy. I'm sorry, y'all. I try not to.
But I'm never going.
Especially with my draft baby, Sky.
Don't play.
Sky,
don't play with Foots on Twitter, bro.
Hey, Sky, did you see that? Jackson Powers Johnson is at guard now. I tweeted that out.
Did you tweet it out or did you put it in? You put it in our
I put it in our
group
chat
chat.
too, but that's kind of crazy. Like
That
Dallas
is.
nailed that. He's
They
at guard.
When remember we found out the whole injury thing,
and he's been hurt all camp.
And he's been hurt. So when that came out, it was like, all right, you got to rule him out, right? You got to take him off, unfortunately. But in all jokes aside, man, yeah, we ain't proclaiming we going to do this or do that. We ain't proclaiming we going. I do think we're going to win, but it ain't on some this team's trash type situation and we the best in the world. I ain't never going to be like that, man. I'm just going to give it to you straight what I see. And the more I do this, the more I realize, hey, not everybody going full with that. But for those who do, salute to you. Appreciate you.
Skywalker still in the morning this week. I don't know why you wouldn't be there every day. I mean, the dude is the hardest working man in business, so I'm gonna let him get some rest. This will be airing. What's today? Wednesday. This will be airing Thursday morning. So probably when he's wrapping up, this will be live. So you guys can get some more of his thoughts. Hey man, thank you so much for jumping on, Sky. Any other shout outs? Anything you need to talk about? You good?
Hey, I'm good, man. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate everybody that's checking this thing out. Like you said, check me out every morning, 8:30-ish a.m. We talk Cowboys.
All right, man. Hey, and for Foster King, thank you to Bet US for sponsoring this channel. And as always, please keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And with that said, we got to beat the hell out of the Browns. Peace.